Presidential candidates are setting their sights on tomorrow's New Hampshire primary, with Pete Buttigieg narrowly beating rival Bernie Sanders in Iowa. Some governors are now speaking out on how the race to the White House is shaping up. Senior columnist Rick Newman is joining us now. Hey, Rick. You recently sat down with the governor of Rhode Island about all of this. What did she have to say?
Yeah, I was in Washington, D.C. over the weekend where the governors, the National Governors Association, are having their winter meeting. I asked Gina Raimondo, she's the Democratic governor of Rhode Island, is Bernie Sanders causing you any heartburn? Here's what she had to say about that.
Every day. I worry about Bernie Sanders being the nominee, yes, considerably.
What concerns you most about that?
I don't think he can beat President Trump, so that's a high concern. I think most Americans want a capitalistic structure, but one that works for them. Capitalism, as it's playing out, is not working well, right? Too many people are poor, too many people are working full-time poor, and that's a problem. We have to fix it. Socialism isn't the answer. The American people, I think, will reject that in November, and so I just think it's the wrong direction.
So when you hear that the Democratic establishment is getting really nervous about Bernie Sanders, who's basically the front runner at this point in the Democratic race, that's why. I mean, they think he has a chance to actually win the nomination, and they don't think he can beat Donald Trump.
Who did the governor endorse? She's
the first governor to endorse Mike Bloomberg. She's actually involved with his campaign, and she's trying to persuade some other governors and senior Democrats to get on board. Not sure how many will, but Bloomberg is emerging as the alternative to Bernie Sanders at this point, as we're seeing Joe Biden just plummet in the polls. Who knows? Joe Biden could get off the mat at some point and make a kind of a comeback, but this is all kind of good for Mike Bloomberg.
Yeah. I see you brought your Bernie
doll.
Did.
If
you watch our podcast, by the way, Electionomics, you're very familiar with Bernie Sanders' doll and
Bernie
and
and Joe Biden go at it quite a lot, and Bernie and Elizabeth Warren go at it quite a lot. But Biden's on his back at this point. I mean, and there's a real question about who is the center, who represents the center here on the Democratic side.
It might be Mike Bloomberg.
And Pete Buttigieg, of course, is doing pretty well, but people don't think he's necessarily going to do well outside of these first couple of early states.
You always leave it all on the field, Rick Newman. That's why we have you here.
You never know.
Yeah. All right, Rick Newman.
See you guys.
Good to see you.
Hey, investors. Zach Guzman here. Are you interested in learning more about the markets and getting the latest financial news? Well, then click right here to subscribe to our Yahoo Finance YouTube channel. Get the latest up-to-the-minute market analysis, big interviews in the world of finance, and information on how to manage your money every day wherever you are.